Roger Marshall of Kansas joining us live right now. Senator, great to have you with us. I know you're also on the Senate Budget Committee as well, so you are well prepared to discuss this. I know that you had a late night on Friday, but despite Democrats' long attempt to try and stop this bill, Senate Republicans got it done. How are you feeling about the current plan? Now it's on its way to the House.
Yeah, Charlotte, well, first of all, good morning and congratulations to Newsmax. I saw your numbers were out this morning, 50% increase in viewers over last year, so congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, as far as this budget issue goes, you're welcome. As far as this budget issue goes, look, I have full confidence in Speaker Mike Johnson, the Budget Committee Chairman over there, Jody Arrington, both very good friends. We came into Congress together. Look, the budget resolution is just a blueprint. It kind of says this is how we get started. And to your comments earlier, yes, there's some more monies that we need to save the American taxpayers, and I look forward to doing that. But most importantly to me, this budget reconciliation is about promises made and promises kept by President Trump, that he promised that he would secure the border, so there's funding in this to secure the border. We're going to make his tax cuts permanent, and that's going to mean less taxes for hardworking Americans.
Yeah, Senator, so GOP leaders in the House are concerned, and they have a battle in front of them. I mean, what would your pitch to be to them? Because if I remember correctly, their budget plan called for $1.5 trillion in cuts. Yours calls for $400 billion. That's a pretty big difference there between the two.
Right. So the big difference is ours is a minimum number, that this is the minimum that we need to do, but we can always do more. And look, I think this is one step of a multi-step process. I think that our goal is to get this budget back to about a $6.5 trillion budget this year. So you may recall Joe Biden increased our spending from $5 to $7.5 trillion over 4 years. Let's work back towards a balanced budget. There's other steps in the process we need to do. So we're on the same page. I think the tough part is figuring out, so where can we save American taxpayers' monies? If you could imagine a bloated company that never cut anything in some 100 years, that's where the American government is doing right now. We've never cut anything. So I think there's an opportunity to go through line item by line item, all 2,400 of them, and save American taxpayers some money.
I want to shift now to tariffs. Of course, that's all the talk this weekend, and we know that some legacy media has been obsessing over the market right now. It's only been a few days, not even a week yet, right? But President Trump has said these things take time. He has all the confidence in the world that this will work. What's your thought on all of this and the direction that we're going and these tariffs that are in place?
Well, look, everyone needs to remember that America's in the catbird seat, that everybody needs us way more than we need them. We're the largest consumer market in the world. Last year, Joe Biden gave us $1.2 trillion in a trade deficit. So we traded goods back and forth, and the rest of the countries, everyone else ended up with $1.2 trillion more than we do. So that needs to be addressed. When I hear the word tariff, I think about the word jobs, American jobs, jobs coming back home. And already we've seen $3 trillion committed to investing into America. That's going to mean hundreds of thousands of jobs. But along with that, Congress needs to do our job. We need to roll back regulations. We need to cut taxes, and we need to make energy affordable. If we do those things, our economy is going to grow, good American jobs, and that's what's going to give us long-term success in this country.
Yeah, Senator, right now the futures markets for the Dow, the S&P 500, NASDAQ, they're off by about 2%. Overnight, the Asian markets took a real beating. But this is all part of that process. I remember going through this 4 years ago or 8 years ago when the president was in office. Stock markets took a dip, but jobs went up, wages went up, inflation stayed down. What is the mainstream legacy media not seeing about this?
Well, they hate President Trump. Remember, they went from obsession to absolute psychosis now, and they're way beyond obsession. They have a psychosis now that they're detached from reality. But to your point, remember, Trump 45, he gave us the strongest economy of my professional lifetime, low inflation, low interest rates, low unemployment, a good jobs report recently as well. So this tariff is one small piece of a bigger economy. Again, if we roll back regulations, if we set American energy free, if we lower taxes, we're going to have a strong economy. And by the way, last time, Trump 45, President Trump used these tariffs to negotiate strong trade agreements. He gave us USMCA, Japan, South Korea, China, and American farmers, Kansas farmers in particular, are still benefiting from those trade agreements.
Yeah, Senator, you're a doctor, so when you say it's a psychosis, that means something.
Senator, you mentioned the jobs report as well that was released. And the U.S., as you've been saying, has added 228,000 jobs in the month of March alone, which was 88,000 78,000 more than expected. I think this is a good sign that the economy will flourish under Donald Trump. And I think we also have to remember, right, we haven't even hit the 100 days mark. What's your message to people that are kind of panicking right now?
Well, I'm excited about that jobs report, too. Again, we added almost twice as many jobs as people were predicting, but they were quality jobs. Again, compare and contrast Joe Biden's jobs numbers. Most of Joe Biden's jobs that he added were government jobs and part-time jobs. In this jobs report, a lot of these are construction jobs. They're full-time jobs. They're not government jobs. This is the tip of the iceberg. And I think at the end of the day, that's part of the American dream, right, is to be able to have a job that you can support your family and maybe be able to afford to buy your first house and buy your first pickup truck and maybe even your first bass boat. So I think that we're going in the right direction. It's a great jobs report. It's a good first number. I told my friends yesterday, look, this is complicated, but trust President Trump. He's done this before. We had a great economy. I think that this is the start of a golden era.
All right, Senator Roger Marshall, great starting our morning with you. Thank you so much.